Okay, so go ahead and I'm going to show you how to utilize viewports and Xrefs. For now, you've been using your title block within model space. I'm going to show you how to use it in layout space and use viewports to maximize the amount of efficiency. And so, first things first, what we're going to do is discuss the viewports. Now, AutoCAD, if you go to Layout 1, it automatically has one viewport that is already there. And you can tell this is a viewport if you click on this outer box right here. It literally says viewport right there. So, and what this is this is a window into your model space over here. So when you click back into model space, you'll see your drawing through this viewport, this window to that other dimension. And you can tell you're in a viewport. If you double click inside of it, you'll see the origin right here. But you can also use the pan tool and notice that that is not exactly on this plane right here. So you can double click inside here to make sure that you're on a viewport or inside the viewport. Double click on the outside of it to get out of this within inside of the viewport. Okay. I want to put this title block over here. And the reason why I want to do that is so we can use Xref to put multiple drawings within this one drawing. This is very useful, especially when you get into creating multiple views of a particular part, or floor plans, or you got details. If you're in architecture, or even civil engineering have details of particular parts. So let's go back to model space, and I want to take this title block drawing, and I want to copy it. Actually, I'm going to use Control X. So I'm going to cut it, go back to this layout, and then Control Paste, so Control V, and it should come up. So Control V didn't work, but Control C does. So we'll just have to work around it. So let's go back to model space, and what I want to do is select all this, Control C for copy, Control V for paste. Now, there's no origin here. You kind of just have to eyeball it to make sure that it kind of lines up. And I just zoom in to double check, that's good enough. And then I'll just go back over here to model space, and I'm going to delete this. And what I want to do is I want to take this viewport, move it. I want to move it right here. And I want to chop this up into 4 different viewports. So I'm just going to draw a line from this center line, or center midpoint, and this midpoint. And what I'm going to show you next is how, actually that didn't work very well. Hold on one second. Rectangle. There we go. So L for line, and now that works. And you know what? I'll just do this. Extend here. There we go. And so I'm going to use this as my template for my viewports. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this viewport, move it completely off the grid. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this viewport. Actually, I should probably resize it. That way it'll be easier to copy. So I'm just going to resize it by using these grips. and right or left click and just drag it down to resize it. Now I'm going to move this over here. Use the copy command. Oops. CO copy. And I'm going to copy this viewport into that. I'm done with that. I can delete it. If I need another viewport, I could just select one, do exactly what I did, and create another copy. But for now, we got 4 separate viewports. And so this is very useful when you have multiple drawings and you want to put it all on one paper. So I'm going to show you how to do Xrefing. And it's the command is Xref, so Xref. But let's go back, before we do that, we have to go back into model space and Xref everything over there. I'll show you how to adjust these viewports to scale. And so, all right, so now we're in model space. Now we're going to use the X reference command. So Xref, enter, or spacebar. And I want to create, so Xref stands for external reference drawing. And so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of put like a ghost image in this model space right here. And so if you're following along, go ahead and click this button, attach drawing. We're going to attach particular drawings that we've already created. And I have mine right here. And so I'm just going to put a couple of them in there. I think, I don't know if you can open, yeah, you can open more than one at a time. So I'm just going to open up 4 right now. And you'll see it'll ask if to specify a particular area. You don't, you can just drop it in there and it'll come out. Oops. Hold on. All right, so I was testing to see if you could open more than one at a time. It looks like you can only do one at a time, which makes sense because there's a particular pathway that you're telling AutoCAD where this file is located. And so if you can see that, you know, this is right here now. That's one drawing, and you'll see that it says loaded. Now, if let's just say you go to export this, you're going to have to export not just this file that we're working on, which is this inch helper with this layout. So this is the file that I'm working on. But you're also going to have to export it in such a way that these files go with it as well, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so I want 4 different drawings in here. Now notice that these drawings showed up, and it seems like it's 4 different drawings, but it's not. It's one drawing showed in 4 different viewports. And so I'm going to go ahead and pause this. I'm going to open up the other one. So again, you just do it one by one. Let me give you one more example. So attach file, choose the file that you want to open up. I already did that one. Let me choose this one. Oops, cancel. Make sure you're not in model space and not in paper space. Let me go back to model space. And now open. Click the file you want to open, hit open. That's fine. Hit OK. And now what we want to do is move this. Move. And I want to move it so I can see what's going on. It automatically snaps it to the origin. And so you'll have to move these. And so I want to put that one here. I'm going to go ahead and pause this and open up 2 more, and I'm going to show you how you can scale it using your viewports. Again, this is to increase the productivity in your CAD. So let me go ahead and pause this video, and I'm going to open up 2 more. All right, now if you notice that if you click on any one of these drawings, everything selects instead of independent lines. Well, that's because, like I said, this is somewhat of a ghost image of that original file. Now, when you go to update these files, let's just say you made some changes, it's going to say that you need to update this right here in your file references, in your external references properties. And that's okay. You just refresh and all your new changes will pop up. And that's the beauty about external referencing, is that you can take your original files, throw them on one drawing. And in fact, let's go to these drawings. So you can use, like I said, when you get into your firms, there'll be a database, a library of different drawings that you're going to reference. I recommend copying those files into the project folder, because if you do need to make changes, you can make those changes within that project and not within the original files, because you'll have to change things back and forth. So save as something different is a very, very useful thing. You know, sometimes you'll see minor changes that it's only applicable to a particular project, and you don't want to change the original because you're going to have other projects that are going to, you know, reference that original. Anyway, let's go back to viewports. Now, I told you we made several viewports, and I'm going to select this one. We can change the size of this viewport. You can go back to 1:1, but we drew this 1:1 scale, so we don't want to do that. I'm going to try quarter scale. That's too small. Let's see. Go back. Change this scale. Delete that. Okay, quarter scale didn't quite work, so let's just change this to a different scale. So it looks like half scale might work. So let's go to half scale. Oop, too small. But you can see you can just play with the scales by selecting the viewport. And I'm gonna go ahead and fix these, and I'll tell you exactly what I did right after. Let me go ahead and pause this video. Okay, so it looks like 6 inches is equal to 1 foot. Works. So make sure you notate that, you know, on your plan, what scale it is, and then just go ahead and change the rest of your scales on your other viewports. So I want to double click in here, and I want to show this one. And that's good. Click on this viewport, change the scale. There we go. Double click inside. You'll notice that the origin's right there. And I want to show this one. Oops. Again, careful with using your mouse wheel for pan, using the pan tool. In fact, you might want to use the pan tool instead, because the mouse wheel might accidentally adjust the wheel and the scale will change. So let me scroll down. Oops. Let me go ahead and select scale again. There we go. All right, and I'm going to use the pan tool, P-A-N, spacebar, and I'm just going to center that, eyeball it. Let me click out of there, escape, and let me adjust this one. it lets me. There we go. So you can also, instead of selecting the viewport, you can double click inside the viewport and then change the scale. Now, are these grid lines going to print out? No, they're not. So I can even show you an example. So Control P, continue single plot sheet, change this to monochrome, change this, we're just going to print out to PDF, and layout's fine, 1:1 is fine. Full bleed, perfect. And there you have it. I should probably center this. So let me change this from layout to extents. And center plot, preview, and voila.
So would you put the